Ash fell from the sky like soft rain. The battlefield was quiet now. For a moment, rebel ships floated above the ruined skies of Dravara. Council warships circled like wolves in the dark. They hadn't attacked again, yet. On the ground, Kay stood with Ashen by his side. His hand still glowed with the bond mark, the symbol of flame callers. Vera walked up slowly, helmet off, armor cracked. "They're not done," she said. "This was just the first wave," Kai nodded. "Then we finish it." Now, the Council's truth. A giant screen blinked down above the battlefield. A face appeared, old, cold, silver-skinned. The high voice of the Star Council. No more warnings. The voice said, "We offered peace. You chose myth over order. That dragon is a weapon. Nothing more." Kai stepped forward. "No," he said loudly. "He is proof that you lied to everyone, for years. You told the galaxy that dragons were monsters, but Ashen saved your own pilots. He showed mercy. Something your council forgot." The high voice stared at Kai. Then said, "You want to know the truth? Then come find it, alone." The choice guy looked at Ashen. The little dragon was quiet, his eyes deep. "You don't have to come," Kai said. "I'll go. I'll face them." Ashen stepped forward. He placed his claw over Kai's glowing hand. In that moment, they both saw the same vision, a mountain of stars, a burning gate, a throne made of flame. A voice whispered, "One flame, two hearts. That's how kings are born." Ashen looked at Kai. The message was clear. They would go together, the heart of the Council. The Council's command ship was huge, a flying fortress above Dravara. Kai and Ashen entered through the upper hangar, guarded by Vera and the rebel fleet outside. Inside, silence. They walked down a long silver hall until they reached a black room lit by stars outside. In the center sat the high voice, and behind him a tall metal object glowing red. Kai stepped forward. "What is that?" The voice smiled. "The Flamebreaker. The device that killed the dragons. The reason your friend is the last." Ashen growled, low, deep, and sad. The high voice stood. "You want peace? Kneel. Given to us. Let us erase the last fire. Then, no more war." Kai looked at Ashen. Then he laughed. "No. The Flame King awakens." The voice raised a hand. The Flamebreaker powered up. Ashen screamed, a roar of pain, light, and fury. But something changed. The bond between him and Kai flared white-hot. Fire swirled. Symbols lit the room. Ashen's body began to glow, not just red or gold, but pure, blinding starfire. His small form rose into the air, wings stretched out, massive now, reaching both walls of the chamber. He was no longer a baby. He was no longer a survivor. He was the Flame King, the final. Like the high voice tried to escape. Too late. Ashen opened his mouth and released a pulse of flame. Not fire to burn, but fire to reveal. The Flamebreaker melted. The chamber burst with color. Images appeared on the walls. The truth of the Council's lies, their fear, their war crimes, their betrayal of dragons and humans alike. Every ship, every planet watching the battle saw it all. A new era. The Council fell that day. Some surrendered, some ran, some joined the new cause. Kai stood on the edge of the temple days later, watching ships come and go, not in fear, but in hope. Vera became the commander of the new fleet. Defenders of peace. Now glowed brighter, with Ashen's flame stored in its core. And Ashen? He flew above them all, proud, strong, and peaceful. No longer the most hated. Now, the most honored. Once, he was just a baby in a cage. Now, he's the king of the stars. And it all began with a human who chose kindness over fear. The temple shook. Stone cracked. Dust fell from the high ceiling. The ancient lights, once cold, now burned bright orange. Ashen stood on the glowing stone table. His wings were open wide, glowing at the edges like living fire. His eyes no longer looked scared. They looked ancient. Like he had remembered who he was. The fire within Kai stared. His breath caught in his throat. Ashen wasn't just a dragon anymore. He was something more. His green scales shimmered with a fiery glow underneath, like there was a sun hidden inside his small body. Dot scanned him quickly. Energy levels rising, it said. Cell structure changing. Bloodline awakening. This is not evolution. This is memory returning. Ashen let out a quiet growl, not to threaten, but to speak. And for the first time Kai heard it. A whisper. Inside his mind. I was never alone. They hid my fire to save me. Kai blinked. Did you just speak to me, in my head? Ashen nodded slowly. The hunters passed outside the temple. Vera stood still. Her weapon dropped to the ground. Her dragon-like eyes were wide with shock. She had felt the fire. Not heat, truth. Something deep inside her responded to it. She took off her helmet completely. Her skin shimmered at the edges, like heat waves on metal. Kai walked toward her, cautious. You felt it too, he said. Didn't you? Vera looked down. I was born on a Dragon Watcher ship. My mother served the council. My father was one of them. Kai was silent. They called me a half-breed, Vera said. Not dragon enough to matter. Not human enough to trust, so I hunted dragons to earn my place. She looked at Ashen now, but I never found one like him. Ashen walked to her slowly. He didn't growl. He just looked at her, like he saw her pain. Vera sank to one knee. I don't know what I am, she said, but I know what you are. You're the last of the Flame Callers. The Flame Caller's temple responded again. Light streamed from the ceiling, forming an image of the past. Dragons with wings of fire flying above planets. Humans walking beside them, not as rulers, but as bonded allies. The Flame Callers weren't just dragons. They were a people, half magic, half fire, protectors of the stars. Each Flame Caller bonded with a chosen soul. Not through control, but through trust. A voice echoed once again. To awaken fully, the last Flame Caller must bond. Mind to mind, heart to heart. Only then will the bloodline burn true. Kai looked at Ashen. Bond with me? He asked softly. Ashen stepped forward. In that moment, a bright flame, not hot, but warm like sunlight, passed from dragon to human. Kai felt it. A rush of images, voices, fire, stars, a promise, marked by fire when it was over. A glowing mark appeared on Kai's hand, the same symbol that had been hidden under Ashen's wing. Scanned him. You are now flame-linked. Said. Dragon and human, connected. Vera watched in silence. She had never seen it before, not in real life. Only in old stories. The last time that mark appeared, she said, a galaxy was saved. Or destroyed. A coming stormed the temples. Lights suddenly turned red. Beeped. Incoming transmission. Encrypted. Military source. Kai tapped a button. A hologram appeared. A tall council general with silver skin and empty eyes. We know where you are. Do not run. The creature belongs to the council. Surrender now, or your world burns. The message ended. Kai looked at Ashen, who growled softly. We're not surrendering, Kai said. We're done running. Vera stood up beside them. Then, I'm with you, she said. For the first time in my life, I want to fight for something. Ashen opened his wings. A small flame rose from the ground, swirling around them. The birth of a new legend. Asterisk space was never silent. Not now. Not. When the Star Council warships had entered orbit above Dravara, the sky above the dead planet crackled with electricity. Long black ships hovered like dark clouds, aiming giant cannons at the ground below. They weren't sending warnings anymore. They were here too. And a bloodline. In the temple. Kai stood at the entrance of the glowing temple. Ashen, now stronger, sat beside him, still small in size, but his fire felt bigger than the stars. Vera loaded a weapon on her back. Her armor hummed with energy. "They're moving fast," she said. "Scanners say 4 council ships, thousands of troops. No time left." Kai clenched his fists. "We fight," Dot beeped. "Correction, you die, quickly, unless we call for help." Kai turned to Dot. "From who?" Dot's lights flickered. "Old allies, forgotten pirates, exiled captains. Anyone who once feared dragons or loved them." A call into the past. Kai opened a signal channel from the temple. He sent out a message to the galaxy. "This is Kai, speaking from Dravara. The last of the Flamecallers is alive. The Council wants to erase him, again. But this time we stand. If you ever believed in fire, in freedom, or in the old codes, come. Help us fight. Help us protect the last light." For a moment, silence, then one voice replied, crackly, "Old. About time someone lit the flame again." Then another. Dot and another. The unlikely army. Within hours, strange ships began entering orbit. A rusted cargo ship full of rebel engineers. A stealth cruiser flown by a blind ex-soldier who once saw dragons in dreams. A swarm of tiny scout pods piloted by alien kids who had only heard stories. Vera blinked. "You called the trash of the galaxy," she said. Kai smiled. "They heard the call. That's what matters." The flight Ashen looked up at the sky. His body glowed brighter than ever. He took a step forward, then leaped. Wings snapped open. The wind around him caught fire. He flew, not high, not fast, but real. For the first time since his race was destroyed, a flamecaller flew in open sky. Above, the council ships turned. "Target acquired," came the cold voice of the enemy leader. "Eliminate the creature." Fire meets metal lasers fired from the ships. Ashen dodged, spun, dived. He was still learning, but he was alive. Kai jumped into a rebel ship's co-pilot seat. "Get me up there." In the sky, Vera fought from her jetpack, blasters in each hand, her coat burning at the edges, her rage and purpose clear. Below, rebel forces from across the galaxy hit the ground, not organized, but passionate. A fight between fire and fear, between the forgotten and the powerful. A choice of power in the middle of battle. Ashen flew higher. The sky around him lit up. Something inside him whispered, "You can burn them all. You can end them. Use it. All of it." His body began to glow too bright. The air trembled. Kai, watching from below, shouted into the comms, "Ashen! Don't lose yourself." And Ashen stopped. He pulled back. He didn't destroy. He flew back down and saved a council pilot from crashing. A new fire. The battlefield paused. Even the council commanders hesitated. The dragon, the one they feared, hated, hunted, had just shown mercy. People began to whisper, "Is this the monster we were told about?" Vera landed beside Kai. He didn't use the full fire. "That's the difference between a weapon and a king." Ashen landed too. Tired, but proud, he looked at Kai. And for the first time, he smiled. "The war isn't over." Scanned the sky. Council fleet pulling back, but not gone. They will return. With more. Kai nodded. "Let them." He looked at Ashen, Vera, the rebels, people from every corner of the stars, now standing together. "We're not afraid of fire anymore." The silence of Deck 17 was broken by the sound of boots. Heavy, fast, organized. Team of Star Council enforcers had landed on Star Shelter. They weren't here for a meeting. They weren't here for peace. They were looking for something, or someone. The hidden danger. Kai stood in the dark corner of his room, packing fast. Ashen, the baby dragon, sat on the desk, watching him with wide eyes. "We have to go," Kai whispered. "Right now." His SI assistant, floated above the room, scanning everything. "Warning, Star Council units are within 200 meters, said. "They are tracking a heat signature." It matches Ashen's energy. Kai's heart beat faster. How do they even know? He asked. They always know. Dot replied. Kai looked at Ashen. The dragon's scars were glowing again, not bright, but enough to leave a trail. Ashen looked scared. Kai knelt in front of him. I don't know why they want you, he said. But I'm not handing you over. Ashen made a small, quiet sound. Not words, just a soft cry. I'll keep you safe, Kai said. A shadow in the air outside the station, on the edge of the landing zone. A tall figure stood alone. She wore black armor with a silver visor. A long coat moved slowly behind her in the wind. This was Vera, bounty hunter, ex-council agent, and tracker of all living things. She pulled up a HOLO-screen. Target. Baby Dragon. Code name. Ashen status. Last of its kind bounty, 4 million. Credits, dead or alive, danger level. Aradishi smiled under her helmet. So the rumors are true, she said to herself. The little monster survived. She stepped forward. Her boots didn't make a sound. She didn't run. She didn't need to. She always found what she was looking for. The escape back in the lower tunnels of Star Shelter. Kai was running. He held Ashen tightly in a carrying pod. The little dragon growled inside, not angry, but nervous. The metal tunnel lights blinked. Red dot spoke. They're behind us. Council unit entering tunnel 4B. I know a way, Kai said, breathless. There's an old cargo lift. Nobody uses it anymore. He turned a corner, almost slipped, and jumped inside the lift. He smashed a button marked Maintenance, Restricted Access. The door closed just as 2 council soldiers appeared. They fired, too late. The door shut. The lift moved down, deep into the old decks. Ashen looked up at Kai, who was covered in sweat. Kai smiled weakly. Told you I was good under pressure. The bounty hunter arrives at the same time. Vera stood in front of Kai's empty room. She touched the ground where Ashen had sat just minutes before. She picked up a small scale, still glowing faintly. She closed her eyes. I remember this energy. She whispered, I remember the fire, the war, the screams. She opened her visor. For the first time, her eyes were visible, and they were dragon-like. Not fully human. Not fully alien, something in between. I'm coming for you, she said. And when I find you, I'll decide if you live or die. Somewhere below the lift stopped. Kai and Ashen stepped out into an old, forgotten part of Star Shelter. Dust, rust, silence. No patrols here, Kai said. Not anymore, he set Ashen down. The little dragon stretched his wings carefully, still sore, still tired. Kai sat beside him, breathing heavily. What are you really, Ashen? He asked quietly. Why do they fear you? Ashen looked up at him, and then, slowly, carefully walked forward. The dragon touched its head to Kai's chest. It was not just a thank you. It was trust. Kai smiled. But before he could speak, beeped sharply. Unknown life form detected. Strong energy signal. Approaching fast. Kai stood up. Who? Answered in a low voice. A hunter. Asterisk. The stars outside the ship were quiet, cold, distant. Kai sat in the pilot seat of an old shuttle, flying deep into uncharted space. The baby dragon, Ashen, rested beside him in a glass pod, wrapped in a warm cloth. They were flying to a place that didn't exist on any modern map. Planet erased from records. A name no one said aloud anymore. Dravara. The home of dragons. The secret message back in Star Shelter. Kai had decoded one of the glowing marks on Ashen's body using an ancient language database. It matched coordinates from a forbidden star chart. One even had trouble reading. Had warned him. This planet was destroyed. Radiation levels are high. No one returns from there. But Kai didn't listen. He looked at Ashen and said, if that's where you're from, then that's where we're going. Ashen didn't speak, but his eyes glowed just a little brighter. Like he understood. Arrival, the shuttle dropped out of hyperspace. And there it was. DRAVARA.A. Dead world. It floated in black space like a burned-out coal. The clouds were red. The surface was cracked and black, like something once beautiful had been set on fire. Even from orbit, Kai could feel it. This place had once been alive. Now it was a grave. Dot's voice shook a little. Radiation minimal. Surface safe, but atmosphere unstable. Kai looked at Ashen. Ready to go home? Touchdown. The ship landed in a valley full of ash and stone. Everything was silent. No animals. No wind. No sound. Just ruins. Towers melted by heat. Statues broken in half and bones. Large bones buried in the dust. Ashen stepped out of the pod on his own this time. He sniffed the air. His claws dug into the ground. He wasn't scared. He was remembering. The temple. They walked for hours until they reached a hill. At the top was a circular temple, half buried under rock. Ancient markings were carved into the walls, flames, wings, stars. Ashen walked forward slowly, like he had been there before. Inside it was cold and quiet, a single round room. In the center, a raised stone table covered in black dust. Ashen jumped up onto it, and then the ground glowed. Symbols lit up under his feet. The walls came alive with light. Gasped. Activating ancient tech. These are memory stones. Dragon memory. Kai stood frozen. Then a voice filled the room. Not human, not machine. Deep and echoing. To the one who survived, and to the human who walks beside him, welcome. Kai looked around. Who's speaking? The voice replied, I am the last guardian of Dravara. This dragon, Ashen, is not cursed. He is royalty. Born from the bloodline of flame callers, keepers of stars, protectors of peace, until the betrayal. The light showed an image on the wall. Dragons flying over cities, protecting them. Until warships arrived from the sky, the Star Council. They feared us, the voice said. They wanted control. So they destroyed everything. Ashen was hidden. He was just a child. Kai turned to look at Ashen, who now stood tall, glowing. Softly, you were a prince, Kai whispered. A baby prince of dragons. Ashen didn't speak. But a single tear fell from his eye and hit the glowing stone. The flame awakens. Suddenly, the temple shook. Beeped an alarm. Incoming signal. Someone followed us. A ship appeared in the sky above, black, silent, and fast. It was her. Vera, the bounty hunter. She stepped out in full armor, landing hard on the temple steps. Her helmet opened, revealing dragon-like eyes. I told you I'd find you, she said. You're not the only one with fire in your blood, little one. Ashen growled, standing between Kai and the hunter. Vera smiled. You want to protect the human? Then fight. Flames sparked from Ashen's mouth, but Kai stepped in front. He doesn't have to fight you. Vera narrowed her eyes. No, but I want to see if the stories are true. The temple glowed brighter. Suddenly, a wave of heat burst from Ashen's body, not fire, but pure light. Vera stepped back, shielding her face. Ashen's wings opened wide, not broken, not weak, awakened. Star Shelter was the biggest space station in the galaxy. It was full of light, sound, and life. Aliens from 1,000 worlds came here to trade, eat, and live. But in one dark corner of the lower market, far away from the bright signs and music, there was something strange. A small rusty cage sat between two garbage bins. Inside the cage was a baby dragon. It was not shiny or beautiful. Its wings were torn. Its eyes were full of pain. Its green scales were dirty, and smoke came from its nose every time it breathed. Aliens walked past and stared. That's the hated one creature whispered. Don't go near it. It's cursed, said another. Should have been killed years ago. Some threw old food at it. Others made jokes. No one cared that it was shaking with cold and fear. The baby dragon growled quietly but didn't attack. It just sat there, tired and alone. A metal tag on the cage read, "For sale, dangerous creature, no refunds." Enter the human. On that same day, a human named Kai walked into the market. He was young, maybe 22, and worked as an engineer on one of the lower decks. His hair was messy, his clothes simple, but his eyes were sharp and kind. Kai wasn't rich. He didn't come here to buy anything special. He just wanted some food for his small robot assistant. As he passed the cage, he stopped. He felt something, a strange pull in his chest. He turned and looked at the baby dragon. For a second, their eyes met. The dragon didn't growl. It didn't move. It just stared silently, like it was asking for help. Without saying a word, Kai stepped closer. "What is this?" he asked the trader standing nearby. "That?" The trader laughed. "That's trash. A beast. It destroyed things. Everyone hates it." Kai crouched down. The baby dragon backed away, but not far. "Why is it in a cage?" Kai asked softly. "Because it's dangerous," the trader replied, "and useless. But if you want it, I'll give you a discount. Half price, maybe less. Just take it." Kai stood silent for a moment. He looked at the dragon's small body, the cuts, the scars. It wasn't dangerous, it was broken. "I'll take it," Kai said. The trader blinked. "Are you crazy? It could burn your face off." Kai smiled a little. "Maybe, but I've seen machines more dangerous than this little guy." He transferred a few credits. The trader handed him a remote to unlock the cage. A new beginning. As the cage opened, the baby dragon didn't move. Kai didn't rush. He sat on the ground nearby and opened a small box of food from his bag. "I don't know if you eat noodles," he said, "but it's all I got." Slowly the dragon crawled out of the cage. Its legs were weak. It sniffed the air, then the food. Kai placed the box gently in front of it. The dragon looked at him once, then started eating. No one around believed what they saw. Night in Kai's room. Back in his tiny room on deck 17. Kai placed the baby dragon on a soft blanket. He used some healing spray on its wounds. "You don't look so bad now," he said. "Just sad." The dragon didn't bite. It just lay there quietly. Kai's small AI assistant hovered beside him. "This is not a normal creature," said. "There's energy inside it, something old." Kai looked at the dragon. It had fallen asleep, smoke softly rising from its nose. "Maybe it just needs someone to care," Kai replied. But that night, as Kai slept, something strange happened. The baby dragon opened its eyes wide. Its pupils glowed gold for a second. Symbols appeared briefly on its wings, glowing red signs that faded fast. Beeped an alarm. "Kai, wake up," whispered. "Something ancient, something dangerous, is waking up." Asterisk. The baby dragon was no longer in a cage, but it still didn't feel free. It sat in the corner of Kai's small room on Star Shelter, watching everything with quiet eyes. Its wings were folded, its head low. It didn't roar. It didn't bite. It just waited, like it didn't know what to do now. Kai sat nearby, tools in hand. He was trying to fix a broken pipe in the wall, but his eyes kept looking at the dragon. "Still not hungry?" he asked softly. The dragon didn't respond. Kai smiled gently. "It's okay. You don't have to trust me yet." A closer look later that evening, Kai noticed something strange. Under the dragon's dirty scales, near its side, a few scars began to glow faintly. He leaned closer. They weren't normal wounds. The marks were shaped like lines, circles, and symbols. They looked like writing. Or maybe a map. Kai didn't touch it. He didn't want to scare the dragon. Instead, he called his AI assistant. "Scan this," he said quietly. Hovered closer. A soft blue light washed over the dragon's skin. "Scan complete," said. "These marks are not wounds. They are ancient glyphs, language, unknown. Energy, active but weak. Kai's eyes widened. This isn't just a baby dragon, is it? The first bond later that night, Kai was working on a small drone. Suddenly he heard a noise, crunch. He turned. The dragon was eating. Finally, it was chewing slowly. Watching Kai from the corner of its eye, Kai didn't move. He just smiled. You like the protein cubes, huh? Not a fan myself. The dragon made a low, soft sound, not a growl, more like a tired sigh. Its tail moved just a little. Okay, Kai said. Maybe you're not trying to kill me after all. He took a chance. He picked up a clean cloth and carefully walked over. I'm not going to hurt you, he said. The dragon didn't run. It didn't attack. It let him come close. Very slowly, Kai began to wipe the dirt off its scales. Bit by bit, the dragon's natural green color began to shine again. But more importantly, the scars were now clearly visible. There were 7 glowing marks, each one shaped like a flame, a wing, or a star. Kai felt a chill down his spine. This isn't just some random creature, he whispered. This dragon was something important. Flash of memory. Suddenly, the dragon's eyes glowed gold again. Kai froze. A flash of vision entered his mind, fast, loud and full of fire. A burning sky, giant dragons flying through smoke, a screaming crowd, the baby dragon being pulled away in chains, a deep voice shouting, "Hide the last one. Do not let the council find him." Then silence. Kai gasped and fell back. The dragon blinked. Its eyes returned to normal. It looked tired and sad. You showed me something, Kai said, his voice shaking. That was your memory, wasn't it? The dragon didn't answer, but it didn't turn away either. The Kai sat back down and looked at the little dragon, who now seemed less like a monster and more like a child. You deserve a name, he said softly. Not just beast or thing, something better. He thought for a moment. How about ashen, like ash from fire? You've been through a lot, but you're still alive. The dragon looked at him. For the first time, it didn't look scared. Okay, Kai said, nodding. Ashen it is. Warning from just then. Beeped sharply. Alert. Scanners have detected an energy spike near this room. Unknown signal. Could be from council patrols. Kai's face turned serious. They're looking for something. He looked at Ashen. They're looking for you, aren't they? The dragon said nothing. But the fear in its eyes gave the answer. Kai stood up. Then we have to move, now. He looked at the little dragon, once hated, once feared, and made a promise in his heart. I don't care who wants you gone. You're not alone anymore.